Hello there, everybody, and I believe it is episode 19. But I've been wrong before, and I can't count very high, so maybe it's not. Anyways, yeah, that doesn't matter, though, because we're going to talk about this episode now. What are we going to do in this episode? Well, we are going to set up AFK atmospheric condensers on the appropriate planets so that hundreds, maybe even thousands, depending on how I set this up, of the extraterrestrial gases will gather while we're not even on those planets, so that we can just go there every once in a while to bring those back, and we'll just always have a ton of them. One of the reasons I'm doing this, obviously, is because a nanocarbon alloy factory 2.0 is the goal of this series, and for that, we're going to need those, right? So I got to set this up, but also it's just useful for everyday life. As you can see over here, I have this is argon, and I only have 13, and I have nothing else that's not on this planet. And obviously, for the ones that are on this planet, you know, your home planet, wherever your main base is at, right? All you gotta do is just set up atmospheric condensers with the special blue button pressed. They'll always craft these, and if I need some, I take it, and then it begins to craft again. So it's like, that's all you gotta do for the ones that are on your home planet. But for literally all the other ones, we want them to gather in larger amounts than that, because, again, we have to go to another planet to get them, so we want to bring back as much as we can to save having to take that trip every time we need to craft anything with it. And so that leaves us with the first step of this. The obvious step is to decide which planets we need to set this up on, right? Because the answer isn't exactly cut and dry, and I'll explain why. The reason it's not cut and dry is because in some ways it comes down to preference. For example, here on Atrox, we have helium, methane, and sulfur, and nitrogen we're just not going to look at because it's on the home planet. So we have helium, methane, and sulfur, right? So we could just do all three of those on Atrox. But you may opt not to do that, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to not do that because sulfur is at 25 parts per unit on Atrox, I believe. Whereas it's 100 parts per unit on Calidor, which means we could get sulfur 4 times faster on Calidor. So if you think it's worth it, which I don't really care either way, but I'm just going to do the best method, even though it's a little more work, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up the sulfur on Calidor, but if you don't need sulfur very often, which I don't, but again, I'm going to do the best method just because that's what I want to do for this video. But if you don't use sulfur very much, you can just put it on Atrox and it'll gather plenty for you over time. But again, that's how this would work. And so Glacio is the best place for argon. Calidor is the best place for sulfur. I think I already said this, but the home planet is the best place for nitrogen. Again, I'm going to be getting hydrogen and nitrogen on the home planet. So what I'm going to be doing is going to Glacio, obviously, because we need argon. So we're going to set this up on Glacio. We're going to set this up on Atrox, and we're going to set this up on Calidor, right? So 3 different planets. That means I got to go to 3 different planets and set this up, but the way I set this up is going to depend on which planet, because again, for Atrox, we're going to be gathering 2 different ones, but for Glacio and Calidor, we're only going to be gathering 1. Anyways, I think it'd be best to do this all on one round trip, so I'm going to explain to you everything we're going to need to do that if you wish to do this the exact same way as me. But I don't have that stuff yet, so I'll come back and explain it. All right, I know this is dragging on quite a bit now, and we haven't even gotten to any planet yet, but I do feel the need to express this really quickly, that the most annoying part of this actually has nothing to do with the atmospheric condenser and setting it up itself. The part of this video that's actually going to suck is setting up the power, right? Because these take 20 units of power a second apiece, and on Atrox, for example, we're setting up 2, so we need to be able to produce a lot of power reliably all the time while we're away, so that it always gathers while we're away. And so that's going to be kind of the main focus of this video, really, because again, setting that up, really simple. We just need to power it. All right, we are back with everything we need to set up the actual atmospheric condensers themselves. I'm not going to do the power in this particular trip because there's not enough room for all the power stuff we need. I'm going to 3 different planets, like I said, Calidor, Glacio, and Atrox, and so I'm going to be taking 3 beacons. You don't want to forget those because, you know, yeah, you want to be able to find your way back to these. That'd be really nice because that's kind of exactly what they're for. Then medium gas canisters. We want 2 of these for every atmospheric condenser. And I just realized I only made 3 atmospheric condensers and I need 4. So actually I will be back is what I'll do. I had to take the storage off of the shuttle, but as you can see, I removed my QTRTG and hoverboard and all that stuff. So I still have room for all this stuff if I'm willing to get weird, because also what I had to do was put all the beacons in my drill. But yeah, we got to do what we got to do for this one because we want to get all this stuff in one trip so that we can take the power stuff in a separate trip. It's just neater that way. And so I'm going to start off with Calidor. And yeah, we're just going to land anywhere. Actually, in the daylight is preferred because I did not bring my work light. And I like my work light because it makes videos not pitch black. And videos not pitch black is me getting views. But yeah, nothing fancy to show here. We are literally just putting this up just as you probably expect. But in case there is any confusion as to how that would be, we do the medium platform B. This goes here. there. Then we got to get these out and put them on either side. And the reason we're doing medium platform, I said medium platform bees, I meant large platform bees. You just got to bear with me sometimes, for I am stupid. But yeah, don't forget to place down your beacon, and we're putting these on separate platforms, right? Because on Aatrox, we're going to have 2 atmospheric condensers. We still want them on separate platforms because that makes it simpler to make them use their own medium gas canisters. Because if we're on Aatrox and methane is 4 times faster going to gather. What? Methane gathers 4 times faster on Aatrox than helium. So if they shared a platform, most of this would be all of the things would be taken over by methane, because the helium would still be filling up its first thing, and then all the others would be full of methane by the time that was done. Next time I'll try to say that in sentence form instead of whatever that really was. But yes, again, just right now we are just going planet to planet, setting this up, not turning them on or anything, because there's no power, and so that won't actually do anything, because you need power to power things. And so I'm actually just going to, I'll be back, yeah, whenever I've done that. All right, here we are back, and I am quite confident that I didn't forget anything this time, but yeah, I probably did. And so, oh wait, yeah, I did. All right, I forgot one of the large platform bees. You need 4 large platform bees, 3 mutant volatile cactus seeds. That's what these look like, and they are on Aatrox. So, you know, if you don't have this yet, you can just go to Aatrox first, because you're gonna have to go there anyways to set up the helium thing. Grab yourself one of these. You're gonna have to mine out from underneath it if it's not your own, but once it's your own, you can hold F to harvest it, and then you can multiply the seeds just like this and start planting more to get more. You only need 1 to start. What a beautiful process. And so yeah, we need 3 of those. We need 4 portable smelters, 3 carbon just to start our generators off, because that's what we're using for power. Medium generators, because they are like, you know, using the tapper and stuff. I forgot tappers. You need 3 tappers. This is a great start. But yes, using the medium generators is basically like a cheaper version of an RTG. It just requires a little more setup. So, you know, yeah, we're just avoiding the nanocarbon alloy, even though I could afford it, just because I don't want to make this more expensive than it needs to be. But yeah, I forgot the tappers because I'm smart. We can just take off right now. So I want to say real quick, portable smelters, right? A lot of people don't know how to get those. Let me explain. You get those in the trade platform by trading Astroneer, right? So if you scroll down with the down arrow right here, or just press S, Astroneer, right? And then it trades for different things. It doesn't trade for resources. It trades for like already made stuff. One of those is a portable smelting furnace. Takes 8 Astroneer. Kind of expensive if you're in the more early game. So you can just replace these with normal smelting furnaces. These are no different. They're just smaller, and so they take up less space, and so they're easier to set up, and so you need less platforms, right? So if you're doing a normal smelting furnace, you'll need to take a platform, you know, that'll fit that instead of what I'm bringing, because what I'm bringing will only fit what I'm bringing. So yeah, hope that made sense. We're going to start setting this up now. Starting with Calidor, of course, because that's where we first went. And as you can see in my beautiful purple beacon, indicating that we are specifically going to an atmospheric condenser outpost. I say that like that's something I've done before. It's not. Never used a purple beacon in my life. And so all we're going to do is set down a large platform bee, and this is going to have all the stuff on it except for obviously the plant, because the plant must be planted in the dirt. And so we're going to set this up first before we plant the plant, because that's annoying to reverse that process. So we're going to want the auto arm to be on the large platform B, right? That's one of those, like, you know, storage saving techniques a man can use in life. And so that's where that's going to be. And we want to have the generator. We're going to want 2 of those, right? Because that will produce 18 units of power per second, which is not quite enough to power this at full speed, but like, you know, like, come on, right? Like, what kind of nerd? Oh, and also, that's what this is for. This carbon we're bringing is just to power the auto arm for just a second. You know, you're going to want a power source. Sure, you don't want to run into the wild and get some compound and organic to get a small generator crafted, just so you can power your auto arm for a second to get the smelter running so that the generator can run, right? And yeah, as you can see, this is the reason we're using this. It produces a carbon every 10 seconds, man. It's so fast. Organic. Produces an organic every 10 seconds. And so that's why we love this system. It is very, very quick, and no other plant comes close. So use this. Because as you can see, this is so fast that it's going to be enough for way more than just 2 generators, but 2 generators is what we have, and so that's what's happening. Do not forget, though, to set this to automatically craft whatever you're here for. We're here for sulfur. Press the blue button, right? Very important stuff. The blue button basically means that whatever you set it to craft, it'll craft automatically forever, so long as it has storage and power, of course. So we get that started. It'll fill these up while we're away. We can leave. We can do that goodbye thing forever style. As always, never forget this part. Very important, because if you don't do that, then what you came here for is Yeah, nothing actually. Now for Aatrox, and as I said, this is a little bit different. I mean, it's the same exact concept. So with any intuition skills, you could figure this out all by your lonesome, which is an incredible thing, truly. Where is my beacon? I thought it was like... Whereas, oh, there it is, okay. I got frightened. I thought maybe it sprout its own legs and left. Anyways, yes, we obviously need double the generator here because there's double the atmospheric condenser, which is an unfortunate thing. Well, I guess it's really not that big of a deal. I'm just pouting at this point. But yeah, and so I decided, ooh, yeah, that's the, oh. Anyways, no harm done, hopefully, because now I have this, and so everything is going to get set up as normal. And so, as you can see, the plant that blew up our atmospheric condensers is now on our side. I seduced it with my unibrow. And yes, I said this was a little different than the other planets, and the reason it's a little different is because, for one, we have two different platforms, right? But we only have one plant, because again, this thing's very fast, so it can actually keep up with four generators, no problem. But also, you don't have to do two auto arms either, right? You could set this up so that one auto arm supplies all four generators. But I'm a little weirdo who has that little OCD thing, so what I do is just, yeah, I don't do that, so. But I digress. Again, do not forget to turn this on with the blue button every single time. And oh, sulfur's at 75 PPU. I didn't need to go to Galador. In fact, it was kind of inappropriate. Anyways, this is the end of the video.